All right, guys. So apparently Illuminaughti's still going on. This whole situation is still happening. And we got iNabber covering the most recent events here, of course. iNabber. I think that iNabber would be an interesting person to have a conversation with on the Real Papa Gut channel, which is not the new channel. It's the old channel repurposed. But, maybe I'll reach out to him. Anyway, the Illuminati situation is far worse than we thought. Whoa. I feel like the only reason it's still dragging on is because she's suing people. It's like, what do they call that? The Madonna syndrome? What is it called? I don't know. Let's go.
It's probably number 3 because he sounds white.
Okay, well, that's not the right video. Again, let's start this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to start this video by saying I'm
wild
a little bit sad. I'm kind of losing my mind right now. I'm disappointed, and it feels like, at school when everybody's doing their group projects and you've been left out of the group project. It's how I feel right now, because it seems that I'm not a part of the cool club. It seems that I was left off the list, the birthday party has happened, and iNabber Television was not invited. Pretty much, everybody right now in the YouTube scene seems to be receiving cease and desists. You get a cease and desist, even you might have got a cease and desist, but iNabber, I shouldn't speak about myself in third person, but me, I didn't get a cease and desist. And Blair, okay. I just want to know why. Am I not good enough? Am I not cool enough? Why? Because I'm starting to feel a little bit left out. Okay, you may be wondering what is actually going on here, Fraser, and yeah, I kind of agree. Maybe we should just run this back a second. Okay, so pretty much a few weeks ago, I made this really long 2-hour video speaking about fellow commentary YouTuber with millions of, well, I'm not sure.
Is she a commentary YouTuber? I thought that she was just like a silly goose that just made like, she just basically remade TV documentaries on topics. Like, she was just like somebody who watched a Netflix show and then used all the assets from that show to make her own video on the internet. And, that's what I thought she was. But, hey, I'm just a fucking idiot. I'm just a silly goose.
She still has those millions. But I made a video a few weeks ago about YouTuber iilluminaughtii. And pretty much in this video, I went through the entire timeline of a situation which originally began as some silly and stupid tweets made by Blair, who was iilluminaughtii, which were then shortly debunked and actually switched upon Blair, and then it somehow developed into a situation where Blair's ex-friends and ex-employees were exposing Blair for some seemingly terrible things, and then it evolved into further things where Blair made a response video which turned out to be a big bunch of lies, where she even used personal information on the weirdest and most terrible scale as a way to attack people in the situation. And just in general, over the last month, it has been complete and utter self-implosion from this commentary YouTuber iilluminaughtii. And ladies and gentlemen, I should say that is a very brief explanation of the situation. There is so much more that wasn't mentioned there, and if you do want an update, please go watch my very long 2-hour video. But pretty much, Blair for the last month has been bleeding subscribers. People are no longer trusting her. People are leaving her chat. Well, they're not leaving. They're actually going to her comment section and saying things like,
"Hey, you stink."
This. Pretty much, it's not a good situation. Blair's been exposed left, right, and centre, and it's been a few weeks now. The dust has started to settle, but ladies and gentlemen, count how many times I say that in this video, but ladies and gentlemen, things have only gotten worse. Pretty much it seems at this point of time, Blair on the daily is being exposed for yet again something stupid or just outright malicious. It seems that we simply cannot go a day without somebody making a tweet saying, hey, this Illuminaughtii person, well, she's actually even worse than you originally thought. And as you can probably tell, it involved...
Well, I didn't think too much of her in the first place, so I can't really get me on that. I'm pretty sure that this is the only reason that this is still dragging on is because she threatened to sue people. Like, she's an idiot. Like, I don't even know for what, to be honest with you. Because they said things about her that she didn't like. I mean, really just take the L. Especially since she is somebody that's not really like a person. She's Illuminaughtii. She doesn't have her face attached. So she's not even going to get the same backlash that like an actual person would have on there. Plus, she's a woman. And women, female privilege. Am I right, guys? But all jokes aside, like, she could have just shut the fuck up. What is it called? Is it called the Streisand effect? It's called the Colleen Ballinger effect, guys. It's called the Ballinger effect now. We're renaming the Streisand effect to the Ballinger. After that, that's what we're going to call it now. Because holy shit, what are you doing?
A lot of people being silenced via the good old traditional YouTuber threat of cease and desists, which, definitely indicate innocence in a situation, but it's also a bunch of other things where other videos about Blair have been released, but also Blair herself has responded to the situation. And ladies and gentlemen,
I'm fully aware of the recent false allegations that have surfaced. I want to take a moment to publicly say, not for nothing, but from everything that I've seen, I don't think that there's any grounds to sue. So this is one of two things to me. Well, who is she threatened to sue? Real quick question, because, there's a lot of ways to perceive this. One way is that she's actually innocent and that she just doesn't know how to communicate that to her. Doesn't know how to communicate that. So she's going to sue. Another is that she is just trying to use this as a scare tactic to shut people down. Another interpretation is that she has a lot of money and she thinks that like she can throw that money around and threaten a lawsuit with somebody, even though she knows that she's wrong, because like she knows that she can drag out litigation and it not be super expensive for her, or rather, and the other person might not be able to afford it. And that's just intimidating because people do that. Like some people will like be really shitty content creators who have a history of being like horrible content creators, and then they'll threaten to sue people even though they know they're wrong because they have the money and it means nothing to them. And it's just like this like weird immature silencing thing. So, like, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, too. At all.
I think we do just need to get into
What'd
the
she
update.
do? I don't know, bro. Like, she had, like, a bad history with people. And she was like, oh, she tried to cancel that guy, The Click, for, like, saying, like, the R slur or something, like, 10 years ago. She tried to make it seem like he was defending predators or something because one really inappropriate guy was in their Discord and he was sleeping at the time, so he couldn't ban him because he was asleep. So she tried to make it seem like he was defending him or something. It's crazy.
To why this person just needs to be stopped. And I know that's a title for every commentary YouTuber ever. But honestly, Blair, I'm saying this for your own sake at this point. Just stop. Just stop doing this. Like, you're just making it worse on a daily basis. I don't understand how you are handling... Sorry, let's get into the first part, which is Blair's god-awful response. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like all good things, it comes from the hellscape of Twitter.com. Yeah. Yes, the worst place on planet Earth. But pretty much, after all of the videos were made about Blair, people came out with their exposés, then the commentary wretches like myself came out and also made videos about those videos. Blair decided to take it upon herself and make a big old tweet thread. So on May the 26th, 2023, Blair came out with a long thread dismissing the false allegations made against her. And, you know, by false allegations, she basically means people, you know, calling her a bellend. Now, to be honest with you, the allegation of being a bellend, I understand, is a bit of a serious one, but to dub it as false allegations, to me, it's a bit of an overstatement. But let's just get into this thread. Hey everybody, I'm fully aware of the recent false allegations that have surfaced. I want to take a moment to publicly, I don't know why I'm doing this voice, sorry, to publicly say that I am taking these allegations seriously, and I'm committed to rectifying the situation promptly and appropriately. This feels like a statement that Professor Umbridge would make. I don't understand why.
But being for real, Professor Umbridge could get it any day of the week. Let's just be honest there, dude. Especially with a shame kink. Ooh, come on. You can't deny it. She's fucking hot. They didn't really do much with her. She just kind of got like taken by centaurs or something, or trolls, and then I guess she died, and then we never really referenced her. There was nobody looked for her or anything. It's kind of fucked up if you think about it. I would have protected her. I would have defended her. So
why? I just kind of get that vibe. I feel like she was, you know, no, I can't say that. I feel like she was. I feel like a bad person wrote this. But firstly, let's go into the whole false allegation aspect of this situation. Because I think what she's referring to here is the allegation of her being an abuser, in this case, a financial abuser, which honestly, I don't really think is necessarily a false allegation based on everything that we know. As we were told, Blair turned up in the night to take back a car from an employee, which usually would be fine if it was her property, but it seemed that she didn't give notice about this, but also even after taking the car, she didn't give the stuff back that was in the car, the property of her employee, and it seemed that the...
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really care about that. This guy, they both seem to be less than stellar individuals, so...
Stuff in the car actually ended up in the trash. And I should ask, what part of this isn't financial abuse? You were in a financial position of power over an employee which you were the boss of.
That's possible. It's also possible that he didn't take his shit out of there in a due time, and so she just threw it away. You know, just because she's a bad person or she seems like a shitty person doesn't mean that she's always wrong about everything. This guy could have been like, she could have been like, I'm taking the car back, you're not paying it or something, and then he's just like, no, and then she did, and then she threw the stuff away. It's all possible. It's also possible that she's abusing something. But we're at a point now where it doesn't matter what anything. It doesn't really matter who says what. Everybody's going to side against her because of the way that the social atmosphere is right now. But it's totally possible that it's totally possible that he's also a bad person, you know?
And you did all of that. To me, that's the very textbook identification of financial abuse. But then Professor Umbridge goes on to say, I understand the concerns and potential impact that these false allegations have caused. My team and I are actively working behind the scenes to gather all relevant facts and silence as many people as we possibly... It doesn't say that. but it may as well. Yeah, her team's working behind the scenes on relevant facts, and she's committed to transparency and accountability throughout this process. And yes, to me personally, this does read as complete and utter bollocks, and I will explain why, but allow me to continue and end this thread. Rest assured, I am taking decisive action to address this situation. I will provide updates and communicate any necessary actions as soon as possible. Thank you to those who are still studying at Hogwarts Witchcraft and Wizardry who are standing with me by this challenging time. I will not allow these false allegations to be weaponized as a way to silence my voice, which, ladies and gentlemen, is quite ironic. And obviously I will get into it, but again, it's still not over yet. I appreciate your patience and understanding during this challenging time. I'm dedicated to upholding my channel's values and delivering on our commitments. I am confident that the truth will prevail. Sincerely, Blair Zon. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably imagine, this response from Blair went down absolutely tremendously with the YouTube community.
Ooh, it's getting a little banger.
Yeah, people weren't happy pretty much. She was getting ratioed on every single angle. And ladies,
yeah, I mean, at this point, she should just try to move forward and knock it off. I don't even know if this lawsuit is even worth it for her, but you know, maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. Maybe this one guy, the Wonder Guy, is kind of a silly baka, sussy goose. You know, who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, when you get ratioed on Twitter.com, I will just say, it's not looking good. People were pretty much absolutely fuming, as you can see in the response here. People just saying, this is absolutely a complete and utter joke. And I do want to read you one response in particular, which in my personal opinion is a very good response to this response from Blair, to the responses about all the situations involving Blair. Until your video, I was a regular fan and had no idea who those guys were. With only your context and hearing you blast someone's text like that online as a weapon against them was inexcusable. And if you want the required context of this,
once Death Templar gets involved, you know shit's fucking real. You know what I mean?
As a weapon against them was inexcusable.
Was she in the later movies?
And if you want the required context of this, pretty much somebody from Blair's old team spoke up against Blair, and how Blair responded to that in her 40-minute video was by showing their side note. Yes, she genuinely did that in this video and genuinely believed that this would be a good rebuttal.
So their death note? I remember watching that video. I was like, okay.
When obviously, I mean, I don't even know how to describe the levels of disgust that I had when I first saw that.
Why?
You only got here because you made those false allegations and didn't know when to stop. Please, and I mean this sincerely, get help.
Well, they're definitely false allegations against that one guy, the Click, and so based on the fact that she lied about that, it's totally possible she's lying about literally everything. That's what happens when you turn into a liar. That's what happens when you lie about stuff. You become a bad guy. People don't trust you anymore. Bad girl.
And this is what I mean by iilluminaughtii does just need to be stopped. I feel like if she has any remaining friends, they just need to put a hand on the shoulder and say, Umbridge, you've got to stop doing this.
Be your friend,
because
Blair.
they're going to take you to the Forbidden Forest. I got to stop. But basically, somebody's got to reach out and just say, Blair, it's time to stop doing this. This is just getting absolutely ridiculous.
I'd say, Blair, keep going.
I seriously don't understand how the situation...
Blair, keep doing it. Keep doing it, Blair. It's giving people things to talk about. You know, I almost left before I was finished with my quest. Keep going though, Blair. It's not a bad idea.
It's still ongoing after over a month. I feel like at this point of time, if there was something which was going to disprove everything, to truly get the real truth out there, why would it not already be out there? Blair has made around 4 responses at this point, and none of these responses have done anything other than make this situation a trillion times worse for herself.
That's a lot of times.
Response number 1, response number... I don't even know really how many responses there are, but I think it's a minimum of 4, and each one...
Yeah, but guys, what if we didn't believe her because of sexism, you know? Like, what if we're all just sexist? You don't know. You don't really know. All right, implicit bias? What? I know fucking words, dude. It's crazy. Wild stuff. Incredible.
Just done nothing but make people out there, including her fans, as we just saw, think that Blair is an even bigger bellend than we originally thought. And by the way, I am also in the boat as that guy previously. This situation was really my first kind of endeavor into looking into iilluminaughtii. Not like, oh, I'm trying to expose this person, but just in general, the first time I ever really looked at this person's YouTube channel. Obviously, I knew about their videos and I knew that they existed, but as a first kind of impression, this was really it for me. And that impression was Blair's own video, and even without getting the context of the videos that she was responding to, I thought, wow, this is absolutely disgusting. Blair put somebody's side note in her video. Nobody else did that. Blair misconstrued situations, removing context and basically lying about other situations in her own video.
Yeah, but what if she's just a neurodivergent minor? You know, you can't... You can't give her shit for that. Maybe she just has ADHD, you know? Maybe she was diagnosed on TikTok. I mean, at that point, when you look at it like that, maybe she's the real victim after all, guys. So
nobody else did that. She chose to do these things. Blair, if you have anything...
Is it true that she made burner accounts to talk to herself? Probably. I mean, that's just funny at that point, I think. What a fucking weirdo. Maybe she's the only friend she has, man. You got to think of it like that said. Maybe she's her only friend.
Justify this situation. Why have you not put it out there right now? Even with this 8-tweet thread or whatever it is, surely attach a screenshot, attach something to give us some indication that there is going to be something that changes this situation. On a Twitter account, on a community post, it does just seem that there is absolutely nothing here that is going to rectify the situation. And sure, when she does respond, I imagine some things are going to be shown to be a little bit out of context and maybe some things are a little bit different to what they actually are, but the reality is, I don't think that things can change here based on the fact there have already been so many responses. Blair absolutely loves to use the phrase of false allegations in this thread, and I think the reason for that is because false allegations over the years have become absolutely prevalent in the YouTube community.
Yeah.
I think by her dubbing this whole thing as a false allegation, it kind of is designed to make her audience think, oh, people in the past have received false allegations, well maybe the false allegations are going to be...
Funny, because like I was thinking of talking to iilluminaughtii, and one of the things I wanted to talk about were some of the arguably, you could call them kind of false allegations with that Ren Eleanor situation, where that mom like has her daughter on TikTok, and there's this conspiracy theory that like she wants her kid to be some kind of abused. Like, it's wild. The way that people talk about the situation is as if this mother puts her pictures up of her daughter so that gross people will look at them, when it just looks like she has a TikTok with her daughter in it, and it's really not that deep. That's one of the things I kind of wanted to talk to him about, but in like a nice way, you know, like the way I talked to Kelly Cadigan, just more of like a conversational thing. Because I think even like the best of people get consumed by like really like insane internet like sensationalized narratives, which is a huge problem on the internet. It's this sensationalization of content without even realizing it, you know? Or maybe you do realize it and you just like don't care. I mean, we've all been there, I guess, you know? You know, it just kind of happens, I suppose.
Proven here, when the reality is, when somebody gets accused of something and they prove it to be false, it's typically in their first ever response. Look at every situation. Look at quite recently. I know his allegations were much more serious than what's going on here. He responded, I believe once, maybe he put out a follow-up tweet to say I'm working on something or a message, but his real first response disproved everything. Blair, you put a 40-minute video onto your YouTube channel and it only made things a million times worse. But ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, there was an incredibly ironic statement made.
Just invite him on and call him Tubby for an hour? Why would you even say that? Like, what is that, a meme? Is that something that bothers him? I don't understand. That's wild, dude. You're a fucking weirdo. Okay.
In Blair's Twitter thread, and of course, that's the moment where she mentions being silenced, because as most of you probably know, Blair recently, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, has been on a cease and desist tirade. The only one to not get one, seemingly, is me, and for legal reasons, I should say that is what we like to call an exaggeration. Obviously, not everybody has gotten one, but it seems that pretty much everybody in the situation of Sad Milk has gotten one.
Well, yeah, of course. Why would you get one? Are you part of Sad Milk?
Yes.
Was he drinking milk?
If there was a way to prove your innocence in a situation, it certainly was by dropping a 40-minute video full of lies and situations made to be out of context, but also, most importantly, the sprinkling of a big load of cease and desists in order to silence people from actually speaking their truth. So literally a day after Blair made her tweets about truth and not being silenced, Wonderstruck tweeted, Blair, aka iilluminaughtii, just sent me a cease and desist for speaking against her abuse. I will not be silenced. And ladies and gentlemen, Attorney iilluminaughtii here, I should just say to you,
Attorney Nabber.
Cease and desists, they're not legally binding. If you ever receive one, just be sure to know that what it is a scare tactic. It's not somebody having a valid case against you. A cease and desist is simply designed to make you shit your pants.
Well, just to be clear, like a cease and desist is typically the movement that they'll make before suing. It doesn't mean they don't have a valid claim. It just means their claim hasn't been validated by a judge. Usually it's like, okay, I'm going to sue this person for talking about this topic or this situation. I feel it's defamation. I'm going to send them like a cease and desist, whatever. Let's say that's like her argument, I guess. Okay, cool. You can listen to it, and then that means that they won't go through with it, or you cannot listen to it and then they go through with it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's like it means that it's the next step before suing. In this instance, it just seems like, yeah, for sure, trying like some kind of a scare tactic. But just in general, that's what a cease and desist is. It's a little more than that. Illuminati cringe. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Tregan Films super
What up,
chatted
dude?
$1.99. Illuminaughtii cringe.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, doggy.
that has received
How you doing
cease and
today, brother?
desists from a lot of different people, whether it's Onision or a prominent UK YouTuber with millions of subscribers.
Was it
I
Nine Never?
have dealt with these cease and desists, and ladies and gentlemen, they honestly, for the most part, usually are complete and utter bollocks. But if you don't believe me,
Oi, mate.
let's just look at the definition of what
Bro,
a
get the
cease
fuck
and
out of my
desist
way, dude.
actually
Oh
is.
my
A cease and
God.
desist letter
Dude,
is not
this is
legally
insane.
binding and reflects the opinion of an individual, typically an attorney. A cease and desist letter may serve to warn an offender that legal action may take place if they do not stop the activity. And in this case with Blair, the offenders in this situation are the ones who are speaking up against Blair, giving their opinions and speaking out about previous situations. And Blair simply does not have a constructive way of dismantling their arguments and their opinions, because if she did, she would have done it in her original 40-minute video. So now she has gone down this path of being a threat and silencing people. And of course, a real sign of an innocent human being is when they try to silence the freedom of speech of another
Search the
individual.
wreck with your
That's a wonderful indicator that Blair is definitely innocent and she is willing to have
let's go
truth
on the
prevail. And I find this quite hilarious because this has this has escalated the situation even more. The person that has exposed Blair the most in this situation isn't Wonderstruck, isn't the Click, isn't any of the other people in this situation.
me.
It is Blair herself. What started off
It's
as a
me.
situation created by Blair with plagiarism, then evolved into I guess a she said he said situation, but then because of her response to that, it led into abuse allegations, and then because of that, it's now led into a freedom of speech debate, and then leads us into a conversation about nasty precedents being set by commentary YouTubers whose entire brand is giving an opinion based on situations in the media and other current events, silencing people not by giving a masterstroke of an opinion in a video where they calculatedly go through a topic where they dismantle something completely, but by using the legal system. It's absolutely insane. But ladies and gentlemen, after doing even more...
And really, all this just started because she fucked with that legal eagle guy, and it just spiraled out of control. How the fuck did we really get here? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, for real, it seemed like it started because she had some false claim of taking stuff, and then she made that addressing allegations video, and it somehow got to this point. I'm pretty sure she brought all this up. She was like crying because she thought some guy took something from her because like his editor asked what filter they used for like something. It was so dumb. And then she self-reported. Like, it seemed like all this seemed to have come out of nowhere. Completely unprecedented, as they like to say. Why would you do that? That seems ridiculous. Okay, let me wait for the super chat to come. This is preposterous.
KJ super chatted $5. Hyperpargut. This
What's
is
up,
the
brother?
first
Or sister?
super chat thingy I've ever sent.
Very cool.
Poop fart.
You know what? You honestly couldn't have chosen a better first thing to send anybody. Poop fart is a real underrated banger. Thank you so much. I appreciate this so much. I really do.
research, I discovered that when it comes to Blair silencing people, this isn't the first occasion of this. She seems to be a regular offender when it comes to her using her platform to stop people from speaking. Pretty much, I discovered that there was a video from February the 12th, 2021,
Censorship.
uploaded by Tipster, titled
Censorship.
YouTuber Illuminaughtii wants to silence her critics. Now, pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, what the
What are you
situation seemed to
doing,
be was
girl?
basically another smaller
Oh,
content creator
no.
spoke up against Illuminaughtii because they believed that Blair was
Illuminaughtii?
actually stealing parts of their content and then using it in Blair's own content.
Hey,
now, I'm not going to go into
just-
the nitty-gritty
just do it.
details of this situation, but I will say, if Blair believed that not to be the case and believed that to be lies, why would she simply not speak up against this person? If this person was...
Why not just fucking ignore it, bro? Because she probably... Do you know what it probably is? 'Cause I don't know the specifics. I could be totally wrong. But a lot of times, people, like, they might have used, like, the same, like, fair use clip as someone else. Hell, they might have even watched other people's videos and then use some of the footage that they had of that video. Like, you know, I don't know if that's necessarily stealing or not, but who cares? You know, it's one of those things where just like ignore it and move on. Just engage in like whatever less than stellar behavior. And then move on. But to fucking sit there and sue somebody over something like that, that's probably what it was. She's probably using the same topics as other people, which is normal in commentary spaces. It's normal in really any space, but and someone was like, "No, I did it first. That's mine." And then she's like, "No, I'm gonna silence you. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna get you." You can't do that, girl. You know, just get over it, bitch. You know. Oh, sorry, that's a rude word. Just get over it, sussy baka. You silly little goose. What are you doing? Silly
making
girl.
these false
Silly
allegations, why would the person whose entire
what the
career
fuck?
and job
Oh my
is to
God, I
give an
went the wrong way.
opinion, not give their opinion on this situation? Why would they not do that, and why would they immediately resort into pretty much using their platform into silencing people?
What I think I see here in this situation is we have a large creator strong-arming a small creator to silence their criticism of them. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking. Tipster, why would you jump to that conclusion? That seems a little bit ridiculous. Well, based on this person's history, which we're going to get into a little bit here, I think you'll see why I feel that way, because this very much feels like that. She's going to remove a video about me, and in return, I'm not going to do a live stream I was going to do on her. That seems kind of strong army to me. Like she's trying to silence this creator. And considering that Blair has a history of...
Well, I do believe in Army Strong. I'm a real American. Strong Army. Army Strong. Gotta love it.
Silencing other content creators.
Now, okay, my friends, this is obviously a little bit different to the situation of recently, but to me, it also is very similar. It's very clear to me that iilluminaughtii in this situation was using her position as a bigger content creator to
Swallow
comment,
by
stop-
super chatted $5. Popeye joined your Discord, but I can't chat in general. Do I need to be a member on to do that?
Yes, so I have the Discord is set so that it's like a member, so you have to link your YouTube membership to it. It's $2 a month. Probably would have been better off just doing that instead of donating $5. But yeah, you just have to do. It's just a $2 a month membership, and then you link your Discord to your YouTube, and you can join in, my brother.
somebody from speaking against them. Thanks for removing my video. I was going to do a big stream on you if you didn't do that. Obviously, that's extremely intimidating. But also, this doesn't really indicate that Blair was going to come out with any facts in the first place. It was just simply, I would have done a stream on you. And obviously, to a content creator who is much smaller than any other bigger content creator, when you get told that somebody is doing a video on you or speaking about you, that's probably going to be absolutely terrifying, because you know, even if facts are wrong, even if Blair didn't
also, if you do the membership, because I've been just putting the live streams on members only right after, so like it gives you access to like the lives after I'm done streaming, or you can just wait for the segments to come out themselves. You know, it's just small things. You know, I gotta wait for this thing to come through. I got all these alerts.
Zed King super chatted $5. Army strong, flexed bicep. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Some of the other ones aren't coming through. Thank you so much for the small gut from Swallowed by Beats.
Tregan Films super chatted $4.99.
Oh, Lord. There we go.
Papa, do you think YouTube knows about the false copyright strikes and having their poorly constructed system being abused?
Yeah, they do.
Swallowed by Beats became a member.
So, like, yeah, they probably do know about it, but I think that YouTube just takes like a general hands-off approach to stuff, which makes sense. Because it's cheaper. No, it makes sense because I think that if they decide to start weighing in too heavily on situations like this, then I think that creates an expectation of them having to do that in general, and they'd have to constantly weigh in on everything. So I think only in extreme cases do they really deal with it. But YouTube's been pissing me off, man. Like there's something going on. It might be because Twitch is getting worse and worse, but like it's been taking. And the reason I say that is because I think maybe more people are streaming on YouTube or something, because it's been taking forever for like anything to happen. It takes forever for YouTube videos to process in HD or streams to process in HD after the stream is over, which affects my ability to download it. You still can't even download your shit in HD through YouTube, at least in my understanding. So I have to use an outside thing. It's been taking them forever to review videos for monetization, like 3 or 4 days. It's just frustrating right now as a creator to be posting on YouTube. You know, it's just like it feels like they have they have a little bit of an issue with their infrastructure, and they got to deal with it. So
the table with information that debunks what the original person was
saying.
saying.
Swoop's video with her addressing her abuse from her ex. Who the fuck is Swoop?
People are going to take
if
what
you
she
wanna
says
send it
as
to me,
gospel.
kind of
There are
what it is,
always
though.
fans who are way too dedicated to their favorite content creator and are unwilling to see any flaws in that content creator, so they will simply harass somebody
that's
or
how my fans
attack
are. I'm
somebody
not flawed
for
at all.
merely
Thank you
speaking
so much for
against
the
their
donation,
favorite
by the way, guys.
influencer. And obviously, that's absolutely terrifying. So yes, whilst there's no legal threat or cease and desist
How
here,
lucky was
to
it that
me
it felt like
personally, I see this as a silencing because of the idea and threat of a stream. But then, ladies and gentlemen, it only gets even worse after this, because pretty much Tipster then goes on and digs up another situation in which, shockingly enough, Blair once again is trying to silence people who have been critical of her. So pretty much DMs were shown of where Blair is seemingly contacting a small artist who is a fan of Blair.
Hey, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that there's a hate channel that just used your fan art you made for me as their thumbnail. I don't know if you gave them permission to use that, but it's not just, if not, I just want to let you know so you can protect your work. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for letting me know about this. No, I did not grant the permission to use my artwork, especially not as a thumbnail to lure people into with send me a link to them or tell them their names so I can take care of it.
And did fan art of Blair.
I mean, like, this just seems like she wants this person to try to put in a strike on that person for using their artwork.
And in a thumbnail of a video that was criticizing Blair, the artist's, I guess, drawing of Blair was used, and pretty much
again, thank you so much.
She DMs
for
this
bringing
person
this to my
saying,
attention.
"Hey, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know."
Are you seriously gonna
there's a
read
hate
it?
Channel that just used your fan art you made me as their thumbnail. I don't know if you gave them permission to use that,
All right,
but if not,
fine,
I
Blair.
just wanted to let you know so you could protect your work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that a copyright strike hasn't necessarily been said there, but
that's
come
the
on, I
implication,
think
yeah,
we
I get the
all
same
know
thing.
what is being said in this DM. She's not going to inherently
Sure,
say
sure,
it,
sure,
but
sure.
protect your work. Hate video. I'm sorry, but it's very clear to me that Blair is trying to get this video struck down. And it's quite ironic because Blair herself has complained about copyright in the past, saying big shout.
It's crazy though, because nobody really has complained about me in a while. You know, that's life, man. You got to embrace it. Well, I'm a commentary YouTuber, so like if somebody talks shit about me or something, it can be funny, and I get to make content out of it. But hey, you know what? I shouldn't be asking for it. You know, it's just we've been having a nice, peaceful time. You come on stream, we play Diablo 4. We watch videos. Like, I mean, really, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed in my ability to, you know, do stuff. So I shouldn't be fucking acting like a little silly goober. You know.
Shout out to the idiots at ABC Australia for copyright claiming a portion of my White Island video where I'm the one talking and explaining things. My voice isn't owned.
Oh, so it sounds like they probably copyright struck her because she was using their video. That happened to me. I did a segment on the Rob and Dan channel. That's my segment, the thing with my wife. And what we did was we made a video about how scary birds are because they're like dinosaurs, bro. I'm sorry, I'm fucking tired. I'm taking a nap after this, maybe. Because they're like dinosaurs. They are dinosaurs. All right, that's what dinosaurs used to. You know, they used to be dinosaurs. That's why it's okay to eat chickens. And we watched a video from like National Geographic. We didn't even have the sound on. I had the ostrich just running around in the background.
Super chatted $2. Very sexy. Very cool.
Thank you very much. Very appreciative. Thank you. Thanks for that. I'll send you some underwear like Colleen Ballinger. I don't know what I'm saying.
By your copyrights. Now, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, that's extremely ironic considering Blair herself, I think, at this point of time, was abusing or at least getting other people to abuse the copyright system. And for legal reasons, so I don't receive a cease and desist, I again have to say.
I wonder if that is like what the implication of that is if you use somebody else's artwork, though. Like, can they say, like, hey, you have to. I mean, all it would result in is that person having to change the thumbnail, right? But I wonder if you can say, like, hey, that's my picture. I don't want you to use that. Can you change it? If it's like art. Because then, like, yeah, I guess I get that.
Obviously, she didn't word for word say that, but just look at this DM for a second. I think it's very obvious what is going on here. And yes, obviously, this is all extremely ironic,
Tom
but it only
super
gets
chatted
even more...
$1.99. Kill Mary F. Tipster Boogie Wings of Redemption.
Wow. That's unfortunate. I can't fuck and marry Tipster, huh? I don't know, bro. I would never wish violence onto anybody. So I don't know if I can answer that question.
ironic when Blair herself has not just complained about the copyright system being abused. In fact, when it comes to Blair's tweet about that, I think ABC Australia were just trying to take money from Blair. But when Blair was trying to get somebody to use the copyright system, in my personal opinion, I don't think that was a financial thing. I think that was obviously her trying to silence criticism, and that moves us into the next irony of this. The GME situation is more than just stonks. It's a statement. Trying to silence the majority will only add fuel. And ladies and gentlemen, yeah, she's absolutely right here. Silencing people is obviously going to add fuel to a fire, but ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a fire. This is like an inferno. This is a forest fire. Imagine the Amazon fire one day because of climate change just lit up. That's what's going on. Sorry, spit just came out of my mouth. You didn't see that, but that was... I don't know why I'm telling you this. But yes,
hot, if you ask me.
Shortly after this, pretty much with the first cease and desist Blair came out with, it was obviously a massive situation where people were just losing their minds and being like, obviously, this is Blair silencing somebody, it's a freedom of speech issue now, and things are just getting absolutely worse. And how did Blair respond to even more criticism? You guessed it, with another cease and desist. On June the 6th, 2023, Oz Media, another person who spoke against Blair, said, iilluminaughtii has officially sent me a cease and desist, and the best part is, she cites parts of videos which I had no part in and demands that I make a public apology.
Did I win?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I need to stop saying that, ladies and gentlemen. My brothers, sisters, and thisters. This is
there
actually
you go.
quite... Almost
there you go. That's what I'm saying. Who used that first? Was it me or was it iNabber? I never watches my content. I know that because he commented on my videos yesterday.
Creepy.
I think he watches the first 10 minutes of anything I react to him doing, and then anytime I talk shit about Boogie, he's all over it. I'm just kidding.
Just sad and weird because Oz Media is the content creator that Blair cried about in her original response video.
You were there for Casper's various hospitalizations when he would get sick throughout the years.
The fucking dog was sick and I'm crying. You know, that was one of the very few. I don't cry because I'm a real man, but when I do, it was when my doggy died, I cried. That was upsetting. Both Ziggy and Czar, very sad stuff. I had a dog named Peanuts, but I was young, so I was like, all right, you know, death wasn't a concept to me. Also, during the movie Up, that was also upsetting. That scared me. That was upsetting. You know, have you ever loved? It's a good question.
And you helped me through a very difficult surgery recovery. I just want to say thank you for always being my support through all of my ups and downs. I know that a lot of these personal situations in my life left me very thin and sometimes irritable, and I want to say thank you for supporting me through it and talking me through some really hard times. Your support and your friendship meant more to me than I think you'll probably ever know. I'm gonna miss all the fun things we used to do, eating way too much cheese at the melting pot. I'll miss you teaching.
And shitting behind the Applebee's when we got drunk. The twofers. Interesting though. Applebee's twofers, you know, not really worth it. The alcohol, not very strong. But the half-app's not bad. You know, not too bad. Not too bad.
Me how to play Command and Conquer and playing it, and how you've always obviously been Casper's BFF, and how Casper is
what the fuck is this?
Oswaldo. We're both gonna miss you a lot. The truth is, like we've privately discussed before, I always hope that we'd be able to
was I supposed to die there? If this was a hardcore run, would I have lost?
Connect again in the future and mend our friendship.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You really, really clearly want to keep a friendship with this person, and that's why you're demanding they make you a public apology. Oh yeah, yeah. I can really see the sincerity in your crocodile tears.
Thanks for the gains, baby.
Absolutely embarrassing. And I thought this crying part of the video was embarrassing beforehand, but now it just shows us as even more bollocks and even more disingenuousness. And that's not even a word. Pretty much, it's just absolutely sickening. And not only is the bollocks furthered even more, but it does just show that Blair's crying in her video, to me personally, is emotional manipulation.
Cringe.
I don't think she cares about Oz Media.
Typical woman
I think she
moment,
more cares
am I right,
about
guys?
making her audience feel bad for her, and that's why she cried in this video.
That's
and yes,
why
my
I
friends,
cried.
I think the situation is just in general sad. Sad for one, that this person simply cannot stop themselves
Blair
from making things
can't
even
stop
worse.
herself.
This was a content creator who, whether you like it or not, was absolutely loved by a lot of people, millions of people, and it's only just turning into a very, very nasty situation. But two, I think there is a serious problem here when it comes to free speech, because YouTube is a platform which does allow us to give our opinions, does allow us to give our takes on very serious situations. But when you have one of the top content creators known for giving their opinion, silencing others, you have to ask the question of why will other people just not go and do the same to other commentary YouTubers?
Yeah, well, that's what happens, I think,
YouTubers. And honestly, I can kind of get the logic. Whilst I disagree with it, if somebody like, I don't know, Jeffree Star...
Crying face.
Oh, Zed King just called you crocodile tears. Boom. Got him. Wait, we're just waiting for the chat to come through. Somebody asked, "What's better?"
Soup Bro super
Okay.
chatted $2. Papa, what's better, Cheetos or Doritos?
Doritos, bro.
Thoughtful face.
Doritos, 100% sweet chili Doritos are the best. This isn't even a conversation. Don't even ask me again.
Saw this and thought,
That's a fact.
If they're going to silence their own sort of content creators, why can't I just go and silence them myself if they're going to do it? Because that's just how these things work. So even if Blair somehow proved loads of the things with Sad Milk to be wrong, she is never going to change the fact that she silenced people and weaponized the copyright system, but also the legal system. But thirdly, obviously the main part of the situation, which really is the most tragic, is the fact that there are victims in this situation who seemingly are being mentally tortured in every aspect of this situation, because as we've seen throughout this, there are a lot of people who have been in not great financial situations, and now they're probably even more worried because of things like cease and desists and having to worry, what's Blair going to do next? Is she going to continue to make it even worse for me? Now, thankfully, people like Wonderstruck have actually started GoFundMe so they can kind of have, I guess, their lost or trashed items reimbursed, but obviously none of this changes Blair's actions.
Nice.
None of this changes the fact that this situation is just in general terrible and incredibly embarrassing for Blair. But my brothers, sisters, and listeners, if you thought that it was going to end there, nope. Because this week, another person who was a part of Sad Milk came out and gave their opinions on the entire situation.
Who's that? Who was part of Sad Milk? I wonder who it was. Sad Milk. Why even name it that? Blair exposed again.
Yes,
Woo!
As I said, it doesn't end there. Because on the 2nd of June, 2023, One Topic at a Time uploaded a video titled, "We Need..."
He looks just like that other guy, the Wonderstruck guy, doesn't he? They look the same, I think. I don't know.
Talk about Sad Milk and Illuminaughtii.
Guacamole.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go ahead and play every single segment in this video. I think you should just go and watch it yourself after it, because it is a very personal video, and honestly, One Topic just seems like a really nice dude, and I genuinely just feel bad for yet again another person in this situation. But there are some things which I think we should play and should go through, because I think it only validates a lot of the things that we've said today and in my previous videos and all of the other things that everybody else has had to say. And I think that starts off with Blair's 40-minute response video and why One Topic believes that this video should be taken down.
iilluminaughtii has dropped a video about it, one that at the time of recording this is still up, and it should be taken down. Take it.
Sounds like Markiplier, I think. He sounds like a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like, that's a very newscastery thing. You know what's interesting? People my whole life have told me that I have a voice for radio, and I was always like, oh, thank you so much, which is definitely true, because I'm able to do this content, and I think part of the reason why people engage with my content is because I do sound nice. But then the other day, my wife was like, you do have a really nice voice, but I wouldn't say it's a radio voice because that's mean. And I'm like, why is that mean? It's like, well, because people on radio, they don't show their face. Like, when you say somebody has a good radio voice, you're saying they have a nice voice, but they're ugly. It's like, oh my God, have people been giving me a backhanded compliment my entire life? Are people saying that I'm an ugly guy? And I was like, that's okay. I'm okay with being ugly. At least I'm an ugly man. You know what I mean? Just really, you know, men don't have to be attractive. They just have to make money. Am I right? So.
For what you will, but a lot was framed incorrectly or was outright false. It did not properly outline what the members of the group accomplished in terms of work, and the vague accusations that payments
super chatted $1.99.
Yeah.
Common sweet and spicy chili Doritos W.
That's what I'm saying, brother. That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much.
Made.
Don't donate too much
to the
money,
end of the
right?
project is
Keep
also
some
just
for yourself.
odd. A lot has been said about it already
I
in Clicks
appreciate
and Wonders videos. I agree with their recounting, as I remember it the same way.
Yeah.
From my recollection,
Sunglasses on in the indoors, though? Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you blinding yourself from seeing the ugly truth? What are you doing?
after things started to get more serious and we had a few recordings, it became pretty clear early on that a couple members couldn't really afford the cost of a fun side project, and we had conversations as a group about how to solve for that, because we didn't want to exclude our friends. One solution discussed, for example, was the rest of the group taking on those costs. For example, when we found out that one of the group members couldn't get the 100K plaque because they couldn't afford the cost of it, we discussed pitching in together with our earnings to get it.
What does that mean, the 100K plaque costs money? I thought the plaque was free from YouTube. They sent me mine for free.
For them. It wasn't some debt that they'd owe, but just something that we could do for them so that we could all celebrate together. I mentioned this just to demonstrate that when issues arose, we talked them out as a group to find a solution, and then solved for it.
Now, to be honest with you, I find this point quite interesting, because one of the main points that Blair made in her video was, oh, I was doing all the work on Sad Milk, and oh, it was so stressful because I was the one leading the charge. But it seems that that wasn't the case. And based on
following?
some of the things that we went through in my previous video, we kind of already had this hint. Like Wonderstruck, for example, was doing a lot to help behind the scenes, but Blair left that out, and it seems here it is another case of that. Because yeah, One Topic pretty much explains, no, there was a group effort with Sad Milk to trying to solve issues, and things how they were presented in Blair's video were clearly skewed not in a correct way, or were just in general false. And honestly, this kind of just makes me think even further, well, how can Blair actually rectify this situation? Let's go back to her Twitter thread and just look at some of the things that she was saying here about.
She could probably just stop talking about it. You know, maybe she just stops talking about it and everything gets better. And because I don't think that there's really a way for her to win out on this. She seems to be kind of a silly goose. It's really unfortunate I can't pause the game right now to take these glasses off, but this is very, very frustrating to me playing like this. But
about truth prevailing and stuff. To be honest with you, I really don't understand how any form of truth that could back Blair is even possible at this point, because let's be real here. I feel like all the context has now been presented in the most serious situations. Now maybe there are some things that aren't being shown or appearing, but I really don't think that there's going to be anything to necessarily kind of disprove anything. And I think instead of doing that, I think Blair is more than likely going to make somebody a scapegoat in the situation to deflect away from the criticism towards her. And I will go further into that after this video, but I should say things only get worse, because after this, One Topic starts to speak about the Discord situation with the click, and I will just play this clip, and honestly it is quite a long clip, but there is a reason for this, and I think you just kind of need all of the full context.
It made me uncomfortable to hear words or intentions put in my mouth regarding the group call whose framing in the video does not comport with reality. The retelling of how our group conversation went and using it as a way to frame the situation as click not actioning soon enough or responding timely is simply a lie. By the time we got into our one-on-one call, and even the group call, it had already been taken care of. The person who had been inappropriate was banned from his Discord. I was spending time with Human One before she had to be ready for work when I got the DMs. So I went over
Let
my
me
mic
ask you a
to try to
question. What do you
figure
think is worse from a Discord perspective? Do you think it's talking to minors, or you think it's sending memes in general chat? Because in all honesty, there's an argument for arrest for both of those things. Memes don't belong in... I mean, that's chaos. It's chaos. It's like eating your cereal with a fork. You know what I'm saying, dude? It's fucking wild, man. It's just crazy. You can't do stuff like that. It's bananas. Yo, stop fucking with me, dude.
what was going on. The one-on-one call was more to check in on, do you think he would support this person's behavior? And I said no, but that we should really be talking to him directly about this. Iilluminaughtii sounded pretty upset during our one-on-one call, and I wanted to be there for my friend. But I know without a doubt that Click would not support that person's behavior. Click, who is someone I spend an inordinate amount of time with. And I thought the best way to clear this up would be to just talk to him.
Do you think, because they're talking about how there was like somebody inappropriate in the Discord. Do you think that she was actually that upset about it though? Because that's the question. Is like in the moment, it seemed like, I guess she seemed like really upset about the this inappropriate person in Discord, and she wanted to get rid of them. Totally possible that that's true, but like a part of me wonders, because like I feel like we've all been with that manipulative person, like a manipulative friend or in a relationship. And to be absolutely honest with you, as manipulative as they are, dude, are you kidding me? Stop hitting me. As manipulative as they are, they're still like your friends, and you know that they're just kind of an asshole, right? Does that make sense? And then you learn that you probably shouldn't have been friends with them because they are really bad people. But a lot of times, like, it might just be like kind of like an idiot. You know, your friend's just like, they're just like dramatic, like, oh. But I wonder if she always had the intention of like some kind of a setup, you know? I wonder if there was always that into like a little bit like in the thing where she's like, she's being disproportionate and overreacting, just for the potential to be able to be like in the future be like, oh, see, fucking Richard or whatever the asshole's name is. Sorry, the Click's name is. Oh, Richard. See, he didn't do enough for the stop of this pedophiles. Fucking Richard. You know, just kind of talk smack on the friend later on. You know what I mean? Basically, I'm talking about an overly dramatic theater friend. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
It felt weird that we hadn't yet. We all got into a group call and confirmed everything had been taken care of prior to the call. The person had been banned, and no, of course, he doesn't condone their behavior, and if he had been awake for it, he would have jumped on it immediately, and that he'll talk to his mods about it directly, and so on and so forth. I felt like I was more emotional support rather than mediating the chat, so I didn't have that much involvement in the conversation. I actually just sat there and listened for most of it. The call ended up going on for so long that I was really late for my scheduled stream, and my mods were waiting on me, which I'd mentioned. At that point, I'd already opened up Microsoft Flight Simulator so I could get it ready for stream, which was noticed during the call and mentioned because Discord has zero chill. Every time you open up a game, it'll change your status to whatever the game is that you have open. So that was seen. Near the end of the call, Illuminaughtii stated that she wanted me to see the screenshots to fully understand the gravity of the situation, and I conveyed that since it was already shared between the two of them during the call, and the person was banned, and how Click was going to talk to his mods after this conversation, and with how everything was already discussed and solved, that I didn't need to see them, and I had no interest in them. I really didn't want to see the messages of a banned Discord person. A folder of them was dropped into the chat, and I was told it was important to look at them, so wanting to keep the waters calm, I opened the folder, and I looked at one of the screenshots, and then I reiterated in written text what I'd already conveyed, which was that I had no interest in having access to the screenshots. The conversation felt weird at the time, and looking back, it's weird how it was reframed for the purpose of that video, but from my memory, the call was actually pretty positive. Checking in on an issue that was seen on Discord, making sure Click was okay, and I had the impression we were all friends by the end of it. I don't want to rehash...
Just in general, this is so dramatic. Like, they had some weirdo in the Discord, and it turned into, like, this fucking life-ending situation. Like, obviously get rid of the weirdo, but, like, just chill the fuck out. Like, why is she turning this into such a big deal?
The screenshot everyone has seen,
like,
but I actually DM'd Click immediately after the call, and this was our conversation regarding it. How dare you diss my kissy noises? Yeah, thanks for that, dude. Lol. I'm sorry all of that got dumped on you at once, dude. I agree, Illumi can talk to you directly about this, obviously, and she woke me up a while ago with a lot of concern, so I was just sticking around to make sure that she didn't take things to the worst conclusion. Let me know if you feel up to streaming or anything today. Haha, it's all good. I'm not surprised, to be honest, and it isn't a shock. Happy to have you there. We'll see. I was planning on streaming like an hour ago, but if this doesn't drain me too much, I'm down. Can't promise, though. It was draining to me. I didn't know about this stuff outside of what you told me a few weeks ago, and I was sleeping. Lol. This was me joking about having been asleep at the time. This is in reference to the call, because we all knew Click had been asleep.
This honestly just shows to me that Blair is a malicious person. What she presented in her video was genuinely disgusting, and I think it was designed to really just make the Click seem to be a terrible person.
Or maybe she's just an empath. Have you ever thought about that? Ever thought that maybe Blair is an empath and she's channeling all of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions? And so when she acts what we would consider disproportionate and in a sleazy way and childish and unintelligent and pathetic, what's really happening is that it's really just her struggling, okay, to process all these incredible emotions that she's experiencing. I think that she's the true victim, but nobody really wants to look at it like that, because it's like, oh, Blair's a bad person. Oh, Blair's lying all the time and false copyright threats, and oh, Blair's a bad friend, and oh, Blair's ugly or something. I don't know. I didn't say that. Somebody else did. I think I never said it. He's a very rude person if you think about it. But have we ever considered that she might just be an empath? I don't think that we have. So
made it sound that the Click was kind of allowing these sort of
move
horrible
out of the way,
things
dude.
to fester in his Discord server, act like he was enabling these things, these very serious and illegal things. Blair portrayed it like the Click was almost doing that intentionally, whereas we've seen throughout the Click's video, throughout One Topic's video, this absolutely was not the case, and also the fact that the Click was asleep during the situation has only been backed here.
Yeah, but how could he sleep not knowing that there is a bad guy in his Discord? You know what I mean? Like, he should have sensed it. It's all starting to make sense now. See, Blair is sitting here and she's like, oh, what a bad guy for not banning him sooner. But if it was Blair in the situation, she would have sensed the predatory intentions of the other guy, and she would have stopped it right there. She would have been able to sense it because she's an empath. She can sense it. So she's like ready. She's like, oh, I can sense these bad negative emotions. So she would be all over it, guys. It makes sense if you think about it through the lens. She's just an empath. She's a fucking mythical creature, and she's better than us, and we just don't get it. We're processing our silly. Why did it take me to go this direction? What the fuck? We're processing, or we're filtering her situation with her incredible next level empathy brain through the way that we would interact in this situation. But guys, we're not her. We're not good enough to be her. And we have to understand that. Spidey senses,
in general, it backs my theory that Blair is desperate for a scapegoat in this situation. She wants to present somebody to be worse than her because that will direct the attention away and make her just free to kind of walk away silently whilst everyone else criticizes the other person. I think that's exactly what she's doing in her first video, and I would not be shocked if that's what she is going to do in her second video. I don't know who it will be, but I'm sure we're going to get somebody, and I think that's why even the topic of slurs being used was brought up in these situations. It's incredibly malicious. It's just disgusting. Like, it really is just absolutely vile. But somehow it gets even more vile, disgusting.
I'm ready for it, baby.
I took a mental health break from my server with everything going on. I've tried not to share a lot of personal details about myself when making my channel, intentionally so, because I want the focus to be more on the stories or memes from the community that knows what it feels like to not like yourself and to want to improve. And something I found when I started my YouTube channel is I started to like myself more. There's still down days and bad days, but they were a lot more.
And then there's some down bad days. You know what I'm saying, guys? You know what I mean? Those are the fucking wildest days.
Well, when being able to focus on work I believed in and supporting a community I really value. Struggling with mental health was something I related to strongly with other members of the group, and we talked pretty openly about it. Our fears, our insecurities. One thing I never thought would be released was personal details about a group member's mental health or their struggles. I figured those kind of personal details would be off limits and no way would be used as a weapon. We were surprised by the Reddit posts. Certainly. The details from the troll account were so specific, but behind the scenes, I was constantly reminding people not to jump to conclusions about this, that even though the timing was strange and the details were so specific, we should not be paranoid about who it originated from. I don't have a lot of interest in going over the Doobie Schmertz accounts themselves in detail. Either the one on Reddit or the...
Was that the one that is supposedly that stinky little girl, Illuminaughtii? Is that her account? Like, she made a fake one or something? Like, troll, basically, or whatever?
Ones on Twitter or however many many other alt accounts. I worked with Click when it happened to contact the creators and friends that were tagged, and I know he apologized for his words that he said when he was 15.
I got eyeballs all over that.
And Swedish. And learning English as a second language. However, the account targeted his apology.
Oh, that's bad. That's my excuse too, man. When I used to be Swedish. I didn't know what those words meant, you know? If anybody ever catches me saying anything inappropriate, I was Swedish at the time. You can't blame me. I wasn't my fault. I was Swedish. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I couldn't have known.
And continued on to ping others. It became clear the harassment was not intended to stop. There were specific portions of the posts on Reddit from the troll account that stood out to me, and intentional phrasing to drive a wedge between Click and I. And one topic is friends with someone while pretending to be wholesome and good. I think one topic is a liar and a sham, and has been pandering to our community if he stays friends with someone like this. He is using us for money. It was such specific phrasing and sounded so familiar. I didn't want to believe it. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my mind around this. We had been transparent about focusing on streaming to help bring in side income, because even though a side project like Sad Milk was affordable and even profitable in the latter months, in order to do this long term, we needed to ensure we were bringing in more income in addition to having fun with the community. And I talked about how making content for the Patreon was taking a lot of time, but how I really enjoyed my circle over there. And the comment, I know I'm going to be leaving and stop supporting him on Patreon, sounded so... I couldn't believe that this was the person who would say that. Salty.
Yes.
Did you leave Sad Milk because we were paying you better on the podcast?
No.
Even if it is true, who cares? Like, if he did leave because he was getting paid better, then why would that even be a negative? I feel like we frame it as a negative, but like, why? Oh yeah, I didn't want to work for something else because I found a better job. Like, okay. That's totally normal human being behavior. Yeah, you know what? I found a better job, so I decided to move and to like focus my time, energy, and effort onto that better job. Oh, okay. That's such a normal human thing to do. So even if it is true, like I know on the internet we filter things in just a weird way where it's like if you ever care about money, you are like a bad person. Obviously, selling out for money is one thing, but like getting a better job is like fine. Hey, this is like better for me, you know. And you could be like, oh, well, he could have done both, maybe, or that could have been too much for him. Maybe that would have been just too much shit going on, so he didn't want to like burn out. Like part of the reason that you work is to make money to live like a human being, really hanging out with your friends and your family and whatnot. So maybe he wanted to focus on that. Nothing wrong with that at all, in any real capacity. So I think that's a kind of a poggers, if you ask me. That's kind of a pogger.
No, wait, I was getting paid?
Wait, shut up, Salty. A couple of months later, I found out personal and private details about members of the group who left were being spread around maliciously when I was DM'd by a concerned community member who had been talked to. A community member who still messages me today with concerns about all of this. The message was concerning offline information that had not been shared outside of private work conversations, private one-on-one conversations, or had not been shared at all, mixed in with fabrications. It later became clear who that information had originated from. And this was later independently corroborated by a creator who had come forward to me who had witnessed this.
This is genuinely so unbelievably and utterly sick. And just add the context here that Blair was crying about these people in her video. I mean, if that wasn't the biggest load of bullshit I think I've ever seen, I really don't know what else could be. What started off as a petty YouTube drama thing has become somebody's insane self-destruction. I cannot believe what we are witnessing in this situation. People over the last month have been regularly comparing Blair to Creepshow art, and honestly, I can see why. Like, I didn't cover that situation, but Jesus Christ, this is absolutely insane. I really don't know how to give some comprehensive and like detailed commentary about this other than saying this is absolutely mental, and every single day just shows how even much more than we even realized before, this person is so completely malicious. Now, I'm not going to play any more of One Topic's video, and as I said, I recommend going to watch it because I think it's a very good video, and I think One Topic seems like a very good dude, but just in general, it's sad what's going on here with the people who used to be at Sad Milk, and I have nothing but goodwill and support for these people. But just in general, at this current day, we are now at the ending of this timeline before anything else comes out. And as it stands, Blair is bleeding subscribers. More videos are apparently going to be released on her. Blair is losing sponsors, and just in general, it seems that Blair is losing her career.
Yeah, she'll probably be fine.
I seriously don't understand the logic that she's been applying throughout this situation. As somebody who makes videos regularly speaking about very serious situations, you think that she would be equipped enough to deal with this correctly, deal with this in a bad way?
I doubt it. I feel like she just narrates things. She doesn't really have an opinion.
To somehow
What's up, Linda?
garner community support eventually again in the future, but it seems that she is just
Howard
to
Stern.
kind of bury the hatchet, make things unbelievably worse for herself, and just in general to conclude this situation. This is a very nasty thing that we're witnessing here, and usually I wouldn't pry into somebody's past like I have in this video, but to me, it's very clear that this whole silencing aspect in this situation isn't just a recent thing, it's a continuous pattern of behavior. It's not like she did this once, got criticized for it, and moved on. I think it's clear that Blair likes to weaponize these systems, likes to silence people, and just in general is a complete, utter hypocrite.
This is cool.
Blair, if you're watching this right now, I think your best bet is just to say sorry and attempt to move on. I seriously don't understand how you can change or rectify this situation, even with little bits of context being left out here and there, and even then, I'm being incredibly charitable towards you. I think you just, for the love of God, need to stop.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, that is the ending of this video. I'm sure I'm going to probably end up making another video after this because I feel like a lot more stuff is probably going to come out.
I'll make the video. I'll just react to you.
Spoken to people here and there. I think more and more videos are going to be released. So yeah, I will cover them eventually. I feel like my best bet is to kind of wait for everything to come out after this video. I was originally going to do that, but it seems that Blair's response isn't coming anytime soon. Knowing my luck, it will be released on the day I release this. And also, I don't know when the other videos are being released. But yeah, that is the ending. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your opinion down below. I would absolutely love to know what you think about this. And also, I am about to drop a podcast on the Buddies podcast about the situation. We've already got one episode about it, but we're dropping another episode, which I think will come out on the same day as this video. It will be up next, and I can't speak English. I do just want to ask, could you subscribe to that channel? Buddies podcast, it's up next, or it's in the description. Please also subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment beans. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a lovely day, and yeah. See ya.
All right, cool. Cool video.